Welcome back to Umineko.
What? I can't see the Umineko.
Oh
Hold
shit!
on.
Oh fuck! Beans! I forgot. Oh my god.
You're not even streaming it to me.
Yeah, I completely forgot. Oh my
That's.
god.
I hope that got picked up because that's pretty funny.
It did.
Okay,
All right.
good.
You can see it and hear it?
It's loading.
Huh? Ah shit! I've been disconnected. Okay. We good?
Okay, I can see it. Yeah,
All right.
and I can hear.
Sick. Welcome back to Umineko.
Welcome back.
After that brief mess up. All right. All right. Now where did we leave off? We left off just after the letter, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
All right. We're back in Kinzo's room.
I don't want to voice this guy again. I'm gonna keep doing it just because I've committed to it.
Oh, wait.
Father, I know
Oh,
you
this is
can hear
Krauss.
me. Please respond.
Oh, they got the funky mystery music playing again.
When
The
the
door to,
aroma is fishy.
yes. The door to Kinzo's study was being violently, harshly beaten against over and over again like a percussion instrument. Yells coming from the other side belonged to Krauss, Rudolph, and sometimes Ava. It was the siblings who were trying to intrude upon Kinzo's study to question him about the truth behind that mysterious letter. Kinzo was eating. An elegant tablecloth was set over the desk, and the fabulous dinner that had adorned the table down in the dining hall was reproduced here. Kinzo continued his meal in silence. Shannon, taking away an empty plate, looked uncomfortably between the door being pounded on and Kinzo's face.
Uh, Everyone is calling for you, but what should I do? Leave them. God and my meals both hold silence as a virtue.
That's kind of a baller line, honestly.
Yeah, no idea what he means by that, but
Should I silence them?
there's no need. It does not even reach my ears.
Kinzo enjoyed his feud. Feud? His food.
Freudian slip.
Apparently indifferent. Genji quietly lowered his head and took a single step back. As he did, Cannon, who stood in reserve like a shadow behind and to the side of Genji, opened his mouth.
Maria-sama apparently received a letter from Beatrice-sama, so I imagine they want to test its authenticity. Has she started already then? Come, Beatrice. I have no shortage of coins to be wagered. Shall we enjoy this night to the fullest? I don't think I'll lose. Your smile will be mine for all eternity. If I could see it one more time, I wouldn't regret losing my wealth, my honor, or even my life. Well then, the roulette has begun to spin. Which pocket will the ball fall into? Noir, Rouge, or House takes all? Come, you may begin, Beatrice. I'll show you the power of miracles once more.
Everyone just hears that entire monologue through the door and they're like, okay, well, he's of no help.
Yeah.
The strange letter that the witch had entrusted to Maria wiped all memories of dinner from her mind. Maria was repeatedly barraged with questions by Aunt Rosa and the other parents, and became increasingly ill-tempered when they refused to believe her. If we kids tried to butt in, they'd probably ignore us. Our parents were all stirred up, firing back and forth about the gold and the distribution of the assets and completely forgetting that we were even there. I'd already guessed they'd been talking like this in the shadows, but I hadn't thought they'd be so blunt. It gave all of us kids a considerable shock. From what we could overhear, all the parents wanted more money as soon as possible. Back and forth about grandfather's inheritance. Back and forth about the distribution of the gold if it was found. About advance payments in cash. It was so despicable I could hardly bear to watch, even though one of them was my father. It looked like Jessica felt the same way. We left our seats without being asked to and went to hang out somewhere well away from our parents. I get it. Now I totally see why grandfather hates coming down for meals. I'm so disillusioned with our parents right now. All that about money and the inheritance? How can they act like that right out in the open? Well, I'm already completely disillusioned with my old bastard. There's no way I can think any worse of him. That's exactly the same for me. Still, that freaking shocked me. Shocked me to the core. Jessica looked down at the floor, irritated. She was always talking about how bad her parents were, but maybe she hadn't really felt that way deep inside. The depths of Jessica's shock made that clear. You're all minors being supported by your parents, so you might not understand. But getting money is neither a simple nor a pretty thing. I'm doing this voice for a pretty fucking serious part, man. I won't try to force you to understand right now since you're still kids. But even so, I want you to realize that your parents are just doing their best in their own way. Ah, great. George Oniki's gotten all mature. George Nissan, I know you're working hard as a full-fledged member of society, but does that mean you turn into a shameless, greedy vulture like our parents whenever you start talking about money and assets? If it were for my own benefit, no, I wouldn't want to do that. However, when your family and your employees, your subordinates and their families are all counting on you, there are some times when you must fight. I hate that kind of fight. That back and forth about grandfather's inheritance just makes me want to puke. Jessica pretended to spit violently. That harsh reaction made the depths of her pain very clear. Let's stop talking about this. All this about grandfather's hidden gold, property inheritance is our parents' problem, not ours. I agree. At the very least, I think children have a duty to be considerate and stay out of their parents' way when they're talking together. Sounds pretty boring. Everyone knows the phrase, adults are filthy. I wouldn't say everyone because I haven't heard that phrase until reading Umineko.
Me neither.
But we had now seen that for ourselves, and that really did give us a considerable shock. George Aniki was now pretty much an adult, and I'd already been disillusioned with my dad, so the shock wasn't that big for us. But Jessica seemed to be taking it hard. Apparently, she'd received a bigger blow than I thought. She always talks badly about her parents, but it looks like she hadn't changed at all on the inside. Even now, she's still a pure-hearted, delicate person who can't doubt others. I'm sure she respected her parents as much as anyone else does. And then her parents started raging about going money, money, inheritance, inheritance by money, right in front of all the other parents and their children. No surprise she received such a shock from hearing that. Jessica John, please don't start hating your mother and father. I won't ask you to understand them, but at least don't hate them. I get it. Just leave me alone for a bit. 6 years ago, I would have kept taunting Jessica even after she got all dejected. But I guess I really have grown over the last 6 years. I realize it'd be better to leave Jessica alone right now.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. I'm moving it so I can see how long we've been recording.
okay.
Jessica suddenly looked away sulkily and Sulkily? Sulkily? How am I supposed to say that word?
Exactly how you think.
And left the parlor. She probably wanted to be alone for a while. I could do nothing but wordlessly watch her back as she left. Come to think of it, I wonder where Maria Chan went. She's probably pouting in front of the portrait. Maria truly looked up to the witches. Witches, might I add the. And she expected that coming in direct contact with Beatrice and receiving the letter as proof would surprise everyone and make them happy. However, the adults had doubted its authenticity, thoroughly bombarding Maria with questions and refusing to accept her story. Even for me, it wasn't hard to imagine how much that must have hurt Maria. We couldn't speak to Maria or Jessica. In the end, George, Aniki, and I just abandoned ourselves to the sound of the falling rain in the dark night. I wonder what's happening with that typhoon. Maybe there's something about it on the news. George Aniki started walking over to the corner of the parlor where the television was. He hadn't called me over, and I really couldn't care less where the typhoon was on the sea now. So without going over to the television, I loitered around the window.
The wind hasn't picked up that much here, but I wonder if it's horrible over the sea. I did hear about a severe storm warning on the weather report.
Ah, Kirei-san. I take it those big talks between the adults are going smoothly, yeah? She seemed to catch the sarcasm. Kirei-san shrugged.
I wonder if that stomachache of a discussion will continue all night. It's not going to be fun.
You have no idea. Sorry, I felt the need to put for foreboding, foreshadowing. Well then, please enjoy playing vultures at grandfather's property as much as you'd like. I feel sick.
I'll agree with you on that.
And rein in your husband.
What?
I'll agree with you on that. Rein in your husband then.
Nobody can rein him in. If I could just slip away like you, I'd do it.
100% you can. I I do not doubt that Rudolph kind of just doesn't care about Kyrie. I part of me thinks it was a marriage of convenience. You know.
Mm.
Again, I've only read episode 2, so if we're gonna get backstory on Kyrie and Rudolph and like show like the most beautiful love story you've ever seen, I don't know. That would be
Oh,
fucking hilarious.
well, you'll see.
If like episode 4, it just became the Notebook, but it's with Kyrie and Rudolph. I think that'd be fantastic.
I agree. It would be pretty funny, but also pretty great. Unfortunately, I can't. Even if I'm not allowed to speak. We spouses have it pretty rough too.
Kyrie-san took a deep breath, smiling bitterly. That's right. They probably wouldn't let Kyrie-san speak since she only married into the family. Still, as Dad's partner, she's had no choice but to stay by his side and support him. She's probably had to bear the full brunt of this mental pressure much more than me. I wasn't going to apologize, but realizing that I'd spoken too harshly, cut the sarcasm for the time being. Bad as it look, are they still stuck on the topic of the mysterious witch Beatrice?
More or less. Those four siblings are always piling up secret agreements when they come together to discuss the division of grandfather's inheritance. They're saying that some unknown fifth person has appeared and is trying to make things even more complicated. And there's no way that'll make for a peaceful conversation. Just when you think they're snarling at each other, they'll set up a common front. Natsune-san's not the only thing getting headaches. Not the only one getting headaches.
I was about to say, damn, objectifying Natsuhi?
Yeah, we've had enough of that already. Also, I want to add my little out. I think that so that Kyrie is especially kind of disrespected among the others,
Hmm.
among the spouses. Because one, she's the most recent person to marry into the family, and her, um, she was Rudolph's second spouse,
Yeah, and also his employee. So with you, oh, Ava would have a
co-worker.
field day. Ava would have
They
a
were co-workers,
co.
but yeah,
Oh my God, they were coworkers. Ava would have a field day. 100% she has said snide comments about, oh, I wonder how long it took them to get intimate. Like shit like implying that his dad had an affair with Kyrie.
yeah, but um, well, I
Okay,
mean,
something's gonna come up. Oh my God.
I don't know how much of a spoiler it is because it's mentioned pretty early on.
That they did in fact have an affair.
Well, that Kyrie was pregnant during the wedding.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do think I remember something like that.
Yeah.
Um oh my God. I remember I read a fic that I didn't have you read first.
Oh no.
Even I read it and it implied that it was like it took place during the first episode,
Okay.
and like near the end it said something, and I was like, I'm gonna assume that's a headcanon or something like that. I don't think that doesn't seem true to me.
Oh no.
Like I read something and I was like, that might be a spoiler, but I don't think so. I don't think that'd be a
You gotta tell me
spoiler.
what it is after.
Here, I'm gonna message you it on Discord.
This is gonna be so much fun.
I'm positive this isn't true.
Mm, yeah.
I I love that I can't even read into that because you know how much I hate spoilers.
Hmm.
So so like I really had to just take your neutral ass yeah as face value. Like yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But no, I full on read that. I like read that and I was like, I don't think that's true. But I only read the first two episodes. All right, back to reading. On the one hand, they all want a larger portion than the other siblings, so they're all rivals. But on the other hand, they don't want 1 yen to be snatched up by anyone other than the siblings, so they're also all allies. I hadn't been told the details, but the siblings were apparently discussing how to protect their shares under various situations, setting up ceasefire agreements and rules to prevent anyone from getting an unfair advantage, even preparing to resort to legal action if absolutely necessary. Here's another thing. I wish these rich assholes would take their heads out of their fucking ass.
Yeah.
Cause
Also, oh, go ahead.
no, you can go
Complete
ahead
that
first.
first. No, because it's not as related to this.
Okay. Cause like the letter was full on like, hey, find the gold and you get all of it. You'd think they'd be like, all right, there's some fifth party, whether or not she's a witch, almost definitely she. That's up for debate, but we're not debating that. All we know is that there's another witch who wants us to solve a riddle. Shit, gang, time to solve a fucking riddle, you know?
Yeah.
You'd think they'd be like, all right, gang, let's solve a fucking riddle.
Oh, what I was gonna say was that I don't think it would be that. I don't think it would be that insulting if Ava went for the whole affair thing because I mean everyone already knows that Rudolph fucks.
Everyone already knows that Rudolph goes at it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
He's kind of, but he is kind of known as the player of the siblings.
I mean,
So
yeah, 100%. Because it's sure as hell not going to be Kraus.
he's too busy. He's too
Rosa?
busy building theme parks.
Fucking Eggman looking ass. Do you think Rosa and Rudolph actually have a closer relationship uh because they get together and talk about various hookups?
Fuck, that would be so funny.
Cuz like Rosa also gets around.
This is really funny.
Like that has to be a headcanon somewhere that they are the horny siblings, right?
Yeah.
That they get around. There has to. I'm really glad this is killing you.
I mean, I hadn't thought about it before, but yeah,
They get together and discuss their sexual exploits, as siblings do.
yeah. Some families are a little more comfortable than others.
Holy shit. When they used to be living together, they go to the other like, "Hey, I need you to cover for me. I gotta hook up."
God, they're so funny.
Holy shit. I think they're partners in crime. I think they cover for each other at family dinners when they were like teenagers and shit, living on the island together.
You think they're just taking a boat out to like to hook up with someone?
That or they're servants that canonically are
Right.
would be around the same age as them when they were growing up.
Yeah, you're right.
They
Okay, the
were
thought of them just taking a boat
that
undetected
is
is
also
also really
fucking
funny.
hilarious that they bribe like the boat guy like, "Hey, I got a dick appointment." I like
The boat guy who's always ready.
he's like, "These two horny teens, man. I gotta be ready. They pay me good though, so like 100% they were missing family dinners and the other was covering for them so they could go fuck.
I I love hearing um about younger Shiromiya sibling exploits. They're
Should
so silly.
Yeah, I should have gotten onto this Umineko grind way earlier, considering how easy I'm just bringing this shit up.
Yeah, you should have.
My mind. All right. All right. After that little fucking tangent, that they would go this far to preserve their shares was so beyond disgusting that you just had to acknowledge their resilience. So basically, Beatrice is like an assassin sent by grandfather. He probably wanted to scare the hell out of his children for talking about the inheritance without him.
Who is this Beatrice, I wonder? If everything she claims is true, then she's a mystery figure that no one even knew about until today. And she also knows about grandfather's hidden gold. On top of that, she was even entrusted with the head's ring. She must truly have been trusted by him.
Another thing is like how I would imagine that Kinzo's love of black magic isn't like a well-known thing, you know? He like because of how secluded he is in his study constantly. Like sure
Mhm.
the story about the witch giving him gold is passed around throughout the business world. But like I feel like his like actual like study of dark magic wouldn't come up. And like she referred to herself as an alchemist, like the family alchemist. Reading that, like if after I hear that, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%, I believe this. The and Kinzo would 100% hire a family alchemist, have some sort of devil's contract with her, and absolutely because she's into black magic like he is and is an alchemist, he would 100% give her the ring, right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like, that's not huge logic leaps, right? I'm not going insane here. Like, I don't know if this is just like the benefit of hindsight and the omniscient point of view that we have that I'm able to make these thoughts, but it just feels like they should have came across that much quicker, right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I don't think she's a witch riding around on a broom, but there's no doubt she's a mysterious person who's earned the right to be called a witch.
If only Mario-chan would go into more detail about that. Everyone's been smothering her, even though she's just a little girl. They really scared her, and some things they might have asked now can't be asked. I wonder if those people have ever even read The North Wind and the Sun.
I bet they haven't even read The North Wind and Sun.
Yeah.
Don't even have dental.
What did you
Well,
say?
they don't even have dental.
Oh,
You've seen Shrek 2, right?
part of it.
Part of How many of the Shrek movies have you seen?
The first one and part of the second one.
That's
Listen. I never watched them during my childhood because I tended not to watch a lot of movies, I guess.
all right. So one of these days we're gonna have a Shrek movie
Thing
marathon.
that I feel. Actually, okay, I have to say it. This
Oh,
is.
oh no.
I had a fear of Shrek.
I'm assuming you no longer have a fear of Shrek.
Yeah, because I watched the first one and a bit of the second one. So no, I don't have a fear of Shrek anymore.
When was this?
Like much younger, around the time, probably like up until I don't know, like it was before the last couple films came out, I think.
Rena, I want you to know the moment you said that, I texted Toby and Danny.
Yeah,
Rena,
I humbled myself today.
I love you so much. Holy shit. Oh my god,
I told you it's really embarrassing, but yeah,
I can hear how it's paining you to admit this. Oh my god. I'm trying to think if I had some sort of like embarrassing fear when I was younger to like help even the playing field for you. But I don't think I did. I was just kind of a cringy kid and that's it. I don't really can't even think of a specific moment. All right.
yeah. I mean, we should watch Rec 2 eventually. I remember enjoying it. I was at a friend's place when I was watching it and I had to leave early.
hmm, um I'm assuming you haven't seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
No, I wanted to though.
It's so good.
Whenever there's movies that come out in theaters, I either really want to see them, so I plan it, or I just forget that I want to see them.
Valid. My thing is that I don't like watching movies alone.
Mhm.
I feel like movies are much better as a shared experience.
Me too. No one ever wants to watch movies with me
I will
in
gladly
theaters.
watch movies with you in theaters.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Yeah. Stop living in Canada.
Why would I want to move? Where would I move to?
Okay, touche. But no, I just have a shit ton of movies that I want to watch, but like I just don't like watching them alone.
Yeah, fair.
All right. All right. After our like fifth tangent within 30
I'm
minutes.
sure I'm sure the viewers love it, okay?
Yeah, if they're trying to watch this for the plot and not us being goofballs, they're watching the
Well,
wrong.
everyone's gotta take a break every now and then.
Yeah. What we do know is that Maria received a letter from a person who took the name Beatrice. She sure is shy for a mystery person, and trusting Maria with a letter and hiding away even now when she could have just appeared and talked to us directly.
Hey, Badlerkin,
Shit, you know this is serious. Her talking fucking cut out the rain for a bit.
do you really think a person called Beatrice actually exists?
Who knows? Doesn't it really seem like a false name? Like she's grandfather's representative, so she was given permission to take the name of the witch from his delusions?
No, that's not what I meant. Right now, there's a total of 18 people here on Rokkenjima. Do you think there's a 19th person?
Is there really a full 18 people on this island right now? Wondering about that, I began counting on my fingers, and it really did come out to that many. Also, I realized I had 18 fingers. I started screaming.
This would be really funny for reasons.
Also, considering this is like a fairly grounded story, even
Well,
I said fairly.
I mean considering what runs in this family.
Yeah, you know what? Touche. Do I think that a 19th person exists? What exactly do you mean?
Just what I said. First knew that Maria, that umbrella, supposedly wasn't one of us 18. So, isn't it natural to assume that a 19th person exists, and that this person let Maria the umbrella?
Well, yeah, it sure looks that way.
Then, where exactly is this person now? At the very least, she must have been on the island when it started raining. And ever since that time, the weather has grown progressively worse, so taking a boat out would be pretty much impossible. Also, the pause between sentences there was because I had accidentally lost where I was looking.
What I
Just
really
just in case you want to know how silly I am.
what really gets me about this is that a 19th person definitely has to exist. Like no matter
Okay, okay. Okay, let's not start this.
let's not
Let's save it
start.
for later.
But I can't. Here's like, can I at least get a little bit of it out?
Okay.
Unless there's a motherfucker here, unless because Maria wouldn't lie about who she saw, right? Like that's not a huge leap in logic. That Maria would like this is some Maria would not lie, even if she was told even if it was George or whoever said, say Beatrice gave this to you. She would just probably be like, George told me to say Beatrice gave this to me, you know?
Yeah, but what if this is brought up later, but what if she mistook someone else for for Beato?
So this is what I was thinking. Like, there is no here, hold on. Um System. No, not switch to Japanese. Just mid we just start reading this all in Japanese. All these people look pretty fucking distinct, right?
She could have prosopagnosia,
What?
or however it's pronounced, face blindness.
Oh, true. But my thinking is, unless one of these fuckers are like Tom Savini levels of good at special effects. If you don't know who do you know who Tom Savini is?
No.
He is he was basically a master of practical effects in horror.
Okay.
Like famously worked on the original Friday the 13th, and
Of course
also,
you know that.
of course, I love Friday the 13th, and the final chapter. He also worked on that one. He's the one who designed how to um kill Jason, how they killed Jason. Like he fucking a master at special effects. Or hell, even a Screaming Mad George. I'm throwing out just a bunch of horror people. Screaming Mad George did the special effects in Society, which I still need to show you that movie if you haven't seen it already.
I've seen it.
All right, perfect. Yeah, he's the mastermind behind the shunting.
Hold on. Need to
Unless
look
more
something up.
unless
I have bad
one.
memory.
Oh, then you must have not seen the Society recently because the shunting is unbelievably memorable.
I saw it I saw it something like a year or something ago. Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about now.
So like, unless one of these guys are great at like costume and makeup design, it's hard for me to believe that Maria, who is smart, she is a genuinely smart girl, would mistake someone with, like, I'm also pretty bad with faces, but I think I would at least be able to recognize if this is a person I haven't seen all day.
Yeah, but there's a difference between being bad with faces and genuinely and like actually having a disability where you're not able to distinguish faces. Like the same as someone
Yeah,
who doesn't have it.
true. Let's go off the assumption. But you know what you know what they say about assuming. This is what I know of the Maria as a character. There's like been nothing she's from what I remember of episodes 1 and 2. There's nothing to imply that she has face blindness. Like she has like an actual like disability that prevents her from recognizing faces. Like the only time that showed that she didn't recognize someone was Battler, and that's just because she was like what 3 when she last saw him.
Yeah.
So my thought is that there has to be a 19th person on the island. That's my thought.
However,
However,
listen. This is so I'm just playing witch's advocate here. Um
I'm
but
assuming whatever point I bring up, you're also going to counter it. We're gonna go full
it's
Umineko
so much
roleplay here.
fun. Yeah. Well, somebody who does have facial blindness might distinguish people by how they present. So if she saw somebody wearing the dress and pre- presenting themselves as how the portrait looks, she would immediately assume it's Beatrice.
True. However, I think making the assumption that she has face blindness is too big of a leap.
I know, but it's just a possibility,
Yeah,
and
which is
it's
what
not.
Umineko fucking loves. Umineko fucking
Yeah,
loves
I'm
wild possibilities.
I'm not trying to present one solid solution.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to argue with you.
yeah. No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
From this is how I see it. I think that making the assumption that Maria has face blindness is too big of a leap to make so far, making it obvious that there has to be a 19th person on the island. Whether
There's so
or
many other
not,
possibilities. How can you be sure there's a 19th person?
because without making the leap that Maria has face blindness, I think she would be able to recognize all these people without also unless unless fucking I don't know Nanjo here is amazing at drag, you know?
Mm, let's keep going.
All
See,
right.
this is why I said let's not start with this.
we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna like one of these days I'm gonna turn on face cam and you're just gonna see a massive conspiracy board behind me. Red
It would be pretty
yarn and
fun if you started
everything.
really trying to prove that there was a 19th person.
God, that'd be so fucking funny.
Yeah, your Umineko theory board.
Because also, there's an entire fucking island to hide on. It's not out of nowhere that that someone built a little shack in the forest. Anyway, go on.
In that case, that person must still be on the island, hiding from the rain somewhere, and without any of us spotting her.
God, I cannot wait till we get to the red text part.
Let's save it for later.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know my feelings. I can't wait till we actually get to that part.
I know.
True, we've all been randomly prowling around all over the mansion and the guest house, but no one has bumped into a 19th person. But this island is huge. My man Battler. There might be other places to take shelter from the rain, other than the mansion and the guest house. At about this time, I began to realize what direction Kirei-san's suspicions were taking us in. Kirei-san was denying that a 19th person existed. Beatrice was one of us 18. In other words, she thought someone we knew well was tricking us. God, what if it was fucking Kirei and she was doing the best, the greatest, the riskiest double bluff in the world? Like
That's pretty fun to imagine.
that'd be fucking hilarious if Kirei wrote the letter, did the fucking cosplay, fucking fooled everyone, and was just like, hey guys, what if Beatrice was one of us? Just to fuck with everyone.
Yeah. If Beatrice is who she claims, she would surely be the most honored of guests. The most honored of confidants, trusted by grandfather. There's no way grandfather wouldn't give that kind of person a warm reception. She would surely have been ushered into the mansion. However, we haven't seen anyone like that.
Wait a sec. Isn't this line of reasoning a bit too hasty? Sure, no one spotted this person, but that doesn't mean that you can deny the possibility that a 19th person exists, right? Maybe, for some reason, they landed on this island stealthily and have been hiding ever since. What they call a devil's proof. Ah, we're gonna end up loving those two words by the end of this.
Just you wait.
Yeah, it's easy to prove that something exists. If this Beatrice appears in front of us all and says hi, then it's settled. But it's impossible to prove that there's no 19th person.
Yes. Adlerkun, your way of reasoning isn't bad.
I love their I love their facial expressions. It looks like they're holding guns to each other. It looks like they're in a Reservoir Dogs style standoff.
In our current situation, there isn't enough information to either accept or deny that a 19th person exists. But if you spin the chessboard around and think
Ah,
that way,
sorry. She said the thing.
we can deny the existence of a 19th person with near certainty.
By the way, um, if you're wondering why that reaction, we're also gonna get very familiar with this phrase as well. This Umineko can basically be called spinning the chessboard, devil's proof.
Oh, there's even more.
Oh, I can't wait. Spin the chessboard around was one of Kirei-san's favorite phrases. I've been influenced by those words and use them myself from time to time. When you get stuck trying to find a move in chess or shogi, I need to learn shogi. Then by
Yeah,
spinning
so do I.
Then by spinning the board around and looking at everything from your opponent's standpoint, you can often see a strategy that'll give you the upper hand. I actually found a really cool website that's good for learning shogi. Thing is, um, I re- I need to get better at like recognizing kanji because I believe that's what they use for shogi. I believe it's kanji if I remember correctly.
Right, yeah.
I need to get better at recognizing that because I'm used to English alphabet. It means turning things around and putting yourself in your opponent's shoes.
You see? Let's say that a 19th person called Beatrice actually exists. That person must have managed, without being seen by anyone, to stealthily arrive on this island and remained hidden ever since. Maybe they had some reason, okay? In that case, why did they go to all the trouble of appearing before Maria and handing her the letter?
This is the
Ah,
Ushiro. Sorry, did I scare you?
a little bit.
This is the Ushiro Miya family. You are well versed in dramatic entrances, okay?
I'm not going to say anything.
I'm just saying. It really was a contradiction. They had some reason for hiding themselves, then they should have stayed hidden the whole time. But even so, they had appeared openly in front of Maria. For the drama effect. Oh, I forget. You always have to remember what would be cool. You know? As well as motive, you got to think of what would be the sickest shit to do.
I guess so.
That's my line of thinking, you know?
It is.
To be fair, probably have a more weirder way of thinking through things. My
Um,
my my tilting strategy.
I don't exactly know what you mean by that.
How I My strategy of making your opponent angry so they fuck up.
Uh,
Then, wait, Maria said it herself. She said the witch made her a messenger. Maybe that's because Maria was the youngest and looked most obedient.
why would they need a messenger? If they just wanted a letter delivered to the family conference, they could have mailed it. If they mailed it to each of the four siblings, no one would be able to ignore it. There is no need for this person to carry it themselves and secretly deliver it by hand.
You say that, but they noticed it. They noticed the letter. Yeah, that does sound pretty weird.
In the first place, if Beatrice existed and wanted to make her presence known to everyone, then she could have just openly presented herself to all of us. Despite that, she chose the vague method of appearing through a little girl called Maria-chan and only gave us a vague impression of who she was. Contradiction. Let's go a little deeper, shall we?
Um, if you if you at home, the audience at home hasn't realized it, we're reaching the part where there's probably going to be a lot more tangents while me and Rena argue back and forth as if we are in Umineko.
I might hold back a little bit on the arguing just to keep this short and sweet.
Because you can 100% go even deeper because you know things I don't.
Yeah, and I don't want to reveal them.
Yeah, I'm basically Battler here. I'm only got what we're seeing so far.
She appeared in front of Maria, trying to give us the impression that a 19th person existed, and yet she still hasn't appeared before us, and is hiding somewhere at this very moment. Think about those contradictions. You've got to keep these things in mind when you spin the chessboard around. In short, if a person wants to leave us with the impression that Beatrice exists as the 19th person, what might their goal be?
If this person wanted to hide, then they wouldn't have made their presence known. If they wanted to show themselves, they wouldn't have used the roundabout approach of entrusting someone with the letter. Which means.
It's simple. Beatrice is one of the 18 people. That's why they want to create the illusion that there are more than 18 people. The 19th person was revealed so spectacularly. If someone were to profit from this, it wouldn't be some 19th person in hiding. It'd be one of the original 18 people. Of course, this reasoning is full of holes. If you turn over even a few of its premises, it'll simply fall apart. But I'm almost completely certain it's correct.
Allow me to turn over a few of those premises. This hypothetical 19th person used the name of Beatrice, known witch. Whether or not this 19th person is Beatrice, that's notwithstanding. This person used a witch as their alias. You gotta expect some sort of drama, you know? Some dramatic effect, some misdirection. This is starting to feel pretty creepy. Someone lent Maria the umbrella and handed her the letter. Supposedly, none of the 18 did this. And yet Beatrice was hidden among those 18. What was this person planning, hiding their true form and pretending to be Beatrice?
I suspected it might have been Maria-chan play acting, but the contents of the message were extremely complicated, and it's hard to imagine Maria-chan writing that herself. However, I can't deny the possibility that Maria-chan is working together with someone.
Wait a second. Maria's a 9-year-old kid, right? What could she possibly be planning and with whom? And what about her straightforward, overly honest, obedient nature?
Yes, I also understand what kind of a person Maria-chan is. But that's exactly why I think it's possible. That girl's a dreamer who can't help but look up to and blindly accept the existence of witches. So if a person appeared in front of her and claimed to be the witch Beatrice, Maria-chan would happily swallow it up, I think.
So you're saying that if someone disguised themselves by wearing that fancy dress from the portrait, tricking Maria wouldn't be that hard?
Of course, with that reasoning, all of us women would be the primary suspects.
I don't know, I'm gonna bring out my previous point of Nanjo. Maybe he's a drag queen.
Maybe he has some killer shapewear, who knows?
Exactly!
Never underestimate a good drag queen.
Exactly!
Anyway, who did Maria-chan encounter? Learning the details of that question would be the best key to solving this riddle. But this key has been firmly locked away inside Maria-chan's heart. Everyone denied the existence of the witch without listening to her, barraging her too much with questions about who Beatrice actually was. She probably won't open her heart to the adults now.
It's up to you, Battler. You are the chosen one.
I'm gonna take a quick break here.
Yeah, no problem. Alright, we'll pause the recording. We'll be right back.
It's paused again.
Yeah. Alright, sorry about that quick little intermission. Well, intermission for us. It's just gonna be a quick jump cut for you. In the dim hall, in front of the portrait of Beatrice, Maria was sobbing.
No one believes I met Beatrice. Even though I showed them the letter Beatrice gave, they still don't believe.
I was kind of expecting you to go full on hick. Just full on reading it.
Anyway, Maria-chan's holding the key. The key to whether Beatrice is one of the 18 people or a 19th person.
Maria's stubborn, right? When that girl gets angry, it's pretty hard to make her feel better.
That Lurkin. I think a kid like you would be better at cheering her up than an adult like me. After she's feeling better, try asking. I know you don't care at all about this back and forth about the inheritance. But don't you find this Western Mansion mystery situation exciting? Who in the world is the person who gave Maria-chan the letter? It makes your intellectual curiosity ache.
Damn it, Kiria, you know I can't resist a mystery. You sick bitch. You're actually pretty tough, considering you're still excited after being dragged through that endless money talk. Adults can be pretty amazing. I shrugged fuck, what? Exasperatedly. I'm embarrassed. But I did notice something. Kirie noticed how dejected I was after overhearing our parents' turbulent discussion, and was probably trying to clear the air. At the very least, I'd recover enough to voice my complaints. She wasn't my real mother, so I never felt like calling her mom. But it did make me think she's a real adult. Hey, brats. So this is where you were. Today, you really took your time fixing your makeup, didn't you? Think I'll make a habit of going to touch up my makeup, too. You would 100% wear eyeliner.
Yeah. I'm sorry. A woman's makeup takes a long time. So, how has the discussion been without me?
I'm sure everything was all peaceful and harmonious. Yes, Kirie-san poked the weak spot under my arms with her elbow. We decided to take a break to cool our heads a little. It looks like we'll be at it all night. Makes me want to cry. His way of talking hadn't changed, but he couldn't completely hide his fatigue. I can't say I was sympathetic, but he looked pitiful compared to his normal energetic self. Still, that rain's just awful. I really don't want to go back to the guest house. It looks like Natsuhine-san set things up so we could spend the night here in the mansion. What do we do?
We don't need to decide until you're done, right? If you run so low on energy that you can't return to our room, then we can take them up on their offer.
You're right. We can think about it later. What about you, Battler? If I'd stayed, I'd just get in the way. Hold on, I need to pause the recording real quick. If I'd stayed, I'd just get in the way. I'll be nice and go back over there. I see. Will you go back soon? I don't know. It'd be lonely to head back by myself. I'll gather all the kids and we'll head out. Okay, you go do that. Also, Battler, you won't be going to sleep that easily tonight, right? Yeah, I'll probably be up talking with the cousins. Sounds like we'll be up all night. Is there a problem with that? I see. If you're still awake when the adults' discussion is over, I want to have a little talk as a family. A what? That doesn't sound like you. Apparently, Kirie-san was thinking the same thing. What are you talking about? She asked him in a small voice. It looked like Kirie-san didn't have a clue what Dad meant either. I also want to talk to you about it, Kirie. I'll tell you later, so don't ask now. Please.
Hmm?
I don't know anyone who neglects the concept of family as much as this old bastard. And now he's saying we're gonna have a talk as a family. Both Kirie-san and I couldn't help but get wide-eyed. Don't look so terrified. I'm the one who should be terrified. After all, I killed the man. It's just, after all, I'm gay. Just, the entire like dramatic talk is him coming out.
God,
I wish. At that point,
Rudolph, of all of them,
coming out. Oh yeah, that'd be fucking hilarious. At that point.
coming out as a chaser. I just remembered that the tweet about how Rudolph, this well, not tweet singular, the tweets I've seen about how Rudolph will be a chaser.
I mean, yeah, he would.
He's
He
always down for. He learns about trans women existing. This is one about one. This is kind of paraphrasing one of the tweets, but he would learn about trans women existing and just go, "Yeah, I'm always on board with more hot babes in the world."
he'd be the type to find the lament configuration from Hellraiser and like use it and not regret it.
Yeah, I have a
He'd like,
tattoo of that,
oh yeah, I forgot you do. It's a baller tattoo idea, to be
and
fair.
it says "fuck around, find out" on it because I thought it was funny.
Even though putting on airs of importance wasn't much like my dad. You're freaking me out, Dad. Everyone in our family is gathered here right now, right? Don't make a big deal out of it and spit it out. Tonight, I will probably be killed. I forgot about this line. There was a huge crash of thunder. It must have been really close. Dad's expression, brightly illuminated by the lightning, was burned into my eyes. Dad's face, which always looked so sure of itself, and which always wore a taunting expression, was strangely frail in a way I couldn't really explain. He was so worn out that he looked like a different person. What? What are you talking about? That doesn't sound like you.
I agree. What happened? You look so timid all of a sudden. It's not like you.
I'm gonna go fix my makeup too. Don't follow me. Dad turned away, weakly. After that, only Kyrie and I were left, still wide-eyed. What did he say? Tonight he will be killed? You don't think that mysterious letter scared him, do you? I'm watching too many serial murder movies.
Mm, mm,
Kyrie-san didn't answer my lighthearted words and continued to stare at my dad's disappearing back.
Arthur-kun, when you told Rudolph-san to spill the beans right away, he left without telling us anything. Even though he said he had something to say to both of us, he didn't answer you. Why? Spin the chessboard around.
He's Beatrice!
What a scandal.
He moonlights as a drag queen named Beatrice. Shit, that's the twist we're all hoping for.
Shit. Yeah. What do you see?
Well, when he said he wanted to talk but then couldn't, that's a contradiction. What? Can you see something by looking from Dad's perspective?
Yes, I can see something. He wants to talk about something.
Shit, really?
However, he doesn't have the courage to bring it up. So he actually means chase after me, talk to me, and ask me about it yourself. By saying don't follow me, he actually means the opposite. He actually means follow me and force me to answer. Seriously, the spoiled brat.
You're taking this way more lighthearted than a man saying, "Tonight I'm going to be killed." Like,
Yeah.
what? Can you really call that reasoning? That's ridiculous.
Can great private and police detectives deduce the emotions and feelings between men and women? They can't, right? Figuring out the feelings of the opposite sex is an even more advanced art than exposing the tricks in difficult crime cases.
Not really.
I mean, I would say it has more to do with their familiarity.
I mean, yeah, but also, like, I communicate my feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
But
I'm not.
Rudolph
Sorry, I'm not from
raised
the
in
80s.
the yeah, Rudolph raised in the 50s and 60s or around that time.
Really feel like they should be chasing after him.
If you ask me, romance novels have much deeper mysteries than masterpiece mystery novels.
I see. Is that how it is?
I'll stand alongside that spoiled brat. He normally loves to bluff, but tonight he's completely tired out from that heated discussion. He probably wants someone to lean on at the moment, and responding to that need is the role of his partner.
Sounds passionate. Then I'll leave that old bastard in your hands. It's not like he confessed his fear of being killed tonight.
Yes, leave it to me.
So fucking chill about this.
She's so normal.
I called out to Kirei-san's departing back.
Huh? What?
I wanted to say thanks. Thanks to you, my gloomy mood has cleared up a lot.
That's good. Communication is important.
Which is why I'm completely ignoring your father's fears. After answering with a wink, Kirei-san followed after Dad.
My whole body my shoulders just cracked delightfully.
Natsuhi could be found in a dimly lit hallway. Now and then the thunder would crash, but this had no effect on Natsuhi's expression. She looked completely worn out. The discussion that had just taken place between the relatives in the dining hall was repeating itself inside Natsuhi's mind. Beatrice had proclaimed that in addition to the gold, all of the inheritance and property of the Ushiromiya family would be given to the person who could solve the riddle. In other words, she planned to undermine the absolute guarantee that Kraus, as the oldest brother, had to succeed the family head. Originally, the other siblings had absolutely no chance to inherit the headship. To them, this proposal by Beatrice was extremely desirable. It was obvious that they would accept it. There was no need to play some clumsy detective game. Natsuhi knew that this so-called 19th person, Beatrice, couldn't exist. Naturally, Beatrice was nothing more than a fictional character used to pass a message that Kinzo had written himself. As proof, Kinzo had remained stubbornly neutral as to that letter's authenticity. He was completely ignoring these reckless claims that he shouldn't be able to ignore, that he had given up the head's ring. In short, Kinzo had wordlessly admitted that the letter held his own message. Most likely, one of the servants had given Maria the letter. Kinzo had probably worked out an elaborate plan where the dress from the portrait would be prepared, and someone, probably Shannon, would be made to wear it and deliver the letter in the umbrella. Love Shannon. I don't think she'd have the acting chops. By doing that, he could make it seem like the witch from the portrait actually existed. No, if anything, that alone was proof that Kinzo was behind all this. In that case, it was the same as Kinzo trying to butt in on the siblings' private discussion. Then Kinzo, by announcing that he'd give everything to the person who solved the riddle, could weaken Krause's overwhelming advantage. Now it was certain. Kinzo had eavesdropped on the siblings' discussion in the parlor earlier that day. So he had known how Krause had staved off the attack by the other three. And to make the scales of the battle go back into balance, he had sent out this strange letter, which benefited Krause's rivals. He was trying to push this crazy theory so that Rosa, who had a weak position among the siblings because of her age, would join with Ava and Rudolph. Then, with a 3-to-1 advantage, they'd be able to overwhelm Krause yet again and make their ridiculous theories get accepted by force. And by doing that, he gave them the power to resettle what had once been a nearly decided conflict. They had now started repeatedly pressing Krause to pay them a large amount of money. using the condition that all of the siblings would guarantee Krause's position as the successor. Talk about advance payments was being brought up again despite having been rejected once. Of course, even without the story about the hidden gold, the Uchinomiya's family's store of wealth was vast. That store of wealth alone was more than enough. Even if the hidden gold was buried forever along with Kenzo's death, there would be more than enough to satisfy. Therefore, even if they weren't interested in the gold itself, Kenzo had managed to instill the lifelong fear that, on the off chance that someone found the gold, that person would be guaranteed the headship, or granted the headship. And this kind of Achilles heel would definitely be taken advantage of by someone sooner or later. The only person with this fatal weakness was the successor, Krause. The other siblings had found no, they had been told by Kinzo about something that only Krause could lose, and they had thoroughly taken advantage of that. Natsuhi, as Krause's only ally in his painful position and as his wife, wanted to fight alongside him. She kept trying to explain to him that the existence of the gold itself was a farce and that there was no need for him to compromise. Krause had always told Natsuhi. He had told all of the siblings. He always said that the hidden gold was nothing more than an illusion created by Kinzo. Therefore, Natsuhi had believed it as his wife and had supported her husband on that foundation. Even so, Natsuhi's words didn't reach Krause. Even though Natsuhi had fought so hard and had lent all of her strength, he continued to fight by himself and was trying to compromise with the other three siblings. Natsuhi sadly and weakly wondered why she could not be of use to him, then started getting angry. It had happened when everyone decided to take a short break to cool their heads. Natsuhi had flared up against Krause. Enraged, she had asked why she could not be useful to him. He had then told her that he wanted to talk about something, and invited her into a room that she was normally not allowed to enter. That room had been sealed with a heavy-looking padlock, and just looking at it had given her an uncomfortable feeling. There's no need for you to worry about anything said by those three, or even this suspicious person who calls herself Beatrice. After all, the gold is just a ruse created by Father. There's no way something like that could be found. Your position as its successor is a solid fact. What are you afraid of? Krause removed the padlock on the door. He then motioned for Natsuhi to enter.
Enter.
What is this?
There's something I want you to see. I've never shown you this before.
Natsuhi timidly opened the door with a dubious expression on her face. It was pitch black. She searched for a switch to turn on the lights, but since it was her first time in the room, she didn't know where it was. Krause entered behind her, pushing her in, and when he closed the door before turning on the lights, the two were swallowed up by the darkness. Only the sound of Krause locking the door rang out through the dark. What are you doing? The lights.
I am turning them on now. Wait, that's Kinzo's voice. Well, he's Kinzo's son. It's fine.
Yeah. Just as he said, when Krause pushed a switch on the wall, a flickering light turned on and lit up the room. That is... Natsui had her breath taken away. The room had no windows, and at a glance, it appeared to be empty. In the middle of the room, a small, round table had been set, and the lights brightened only that table, as if it were the leading part in a play. On top of the table...
Happy birthday!
You scared the shit out of me, what the fuck?
It's Natsuhi's birthday present.
No, that'd be so funny.
I know.
On top of the table, a red tablecloth of elaborate design had been set out, covered with dust. And on top of that, something about the size of a grown man's arm had been set down. That something took Natsuhi's breath away.
It's a gold ingot of incredible purity. Without this, no one would have believed in the legend of the gold.
It was an ingot of solid gold. Even in the faint light, it sparkled with a noble and dignified glint.
This is not a proper ingot. I don't even know whether it was cast inside or outside the country.
It took a high level of skill to make the purest of solid gold ingots. And in order to verify that purity, it was standard to have the original foundry and the name of the bank that guaranteed it imprinted on the gold. However, this ingot did not have that kind of seal. This mysterious gold bar had come from an unknown foundry.
Look here. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a bar of gold.
Natsuhi, following Kraus's words, timidly approached the ingot.
Right there.
Kraus pointed at the surface of the ingot. Natsuhi concentrated on that section. Right there was the thin imprint of the one-winged eagle crest. Natsuhi's breath was taken away once again.
That's right. This is a legendary ingot that father said he received from the witch that the president of Maruso witnessed. It was allowed to select at random to take back with him. That gained the trust of the fixers in the business world. I had to use all possible means to find it. I found it before the other siblings could.
How could... Then... The legend of Father's Gold is...
It actually exists. The gold that Ushiromi Akinuzo received from BHHA actually exists.
impossible. So it really does exist. Natsuhi was shocked. Kraus had always said that Kinzo's gold was just a fabrication, so she had believed it as his wife. However, the reality was different. He held definite proof. He had been more certain than any of the other siblings that the legend of the gold was true. Because of this, Kraus was deeply frightened at the possibility that someone other than himself would find the gold he'd failed to find, costing him everything. To Natsuhi, this truce was more than enough to split open her heart. She had felt that, as Kraus's wife, she could be his closest confidant, which was why she had selflessly supported him. And yet, he had hid this fact from her until today. Why? Have I been so undeserving of your trust?
That has never been my intention. There is simply no need to tell you.
Is that all a wife means to you?
Calm down. Becoming passionate is easily one of your bad habits.
You're the one who's making me like that, aren't you? I've been supporting you as a wife ever since I married into this family. For your sake, I threw away the family I was born into. And I've been offering up my heart and my body to serve you. And in return, this is what I get? How could you? Kraus grimaced, looking annoyed. His expression effectively communicated how much he disliked this part of Natsuhi, even if he didn't say it out loud. It doesn't look like I will be of any use to you anymore.
That's fine. I can resolve the troubles with the siblings by myself. I don't need your help.
Natsui deserves better.
I know!
That's wrong! This is the Usuromiya family's problem. It's true that I am not permitted to wear the family crest on my body. I am still your wife. Even so, are you saying I'm not capable of helping you? Are you?
I especially wouldn't want to risk getting you involved. It would probably make your headaches even worse than they are now. Take a rest for today. The siblings will deal with the siblings' problems. It has nothing to do with you. That is all.
A dull headache tormented Natsuhi. No matter what medicine she took, no matter what scents she burned, it wouldn't heal. In fact, simply wandering alone through the dark corridors and listening to the sound of rain seemed to be a better cure. I may be Natsuhi, but I was never Uhiromiya Natsuhi. I have been despised and treated as a borrowed womb and insulted when I couldn't even fill that role. Even so, I have tried to properly perform my duties as a wife. But now even my husband has rejected me. I've done my best raising my daughter as if it were the last job left to me. However, I've had no release for my anger and sadness, and they've caused me to subconsciously strain that relationship too. Because I've been excessively strict in Jessica's education, she dislikes me thoroughly. She despises me for having no interest in anything but grades. There is no longer anything I can do for the Uchiromiya family. No, that's no good. Despite it all, I must help my husband and beat back the schemes of the other greedy siblings. The family head won't be around much longer. Eventually, Kraus will succeed the head, and the next successor will be Jessica. Strictly speaking, the man who enters the family by marrying Jessica will become the next head, but it all comes to the same thing. I have to make Jessica an excellent successor whom everyone will accept as worthy to take over the Uchiromiya family. In the days to come, that greedy Uchiromiya Eva will probably be plotting to find some fault with the main family. And if all goes as she plans, Jessica will be dragged down from the succession, with George set up in her place. It is regrettable, but George is a man, and even more, has matured as a person. Compared to Jessica, who's right in the middle of her rebellious period, and whose grades are slightly below average, it can be seen at a glance who is more fit to succeed the head. So in order to secure Jessica's position, I need to turn her into an excellent person. After doing that, I want to find her an excellent husband worthy of the excellent person she will have become. A wonderful man who will truly accept Jessica and stay with her through all of life's joys and sorrows. Was Natsui trying to entrust her daughter with fulfilling some desire of her own? Natsui thought back to the days when she had no choice but to marry into the Uchiromiya family because of that unavoidable fate. She had tried to block that from her memory. She had consciously forgotten it and had actively attended to the life she'd been given as Uchiromiya Natsuhi. And in doing so, she had built up a new life. But just now, it felt like all of that had been casually rejected. How should I live my life? I do not know. Natsuhi helplessly rested her head against the glass of the window. The glass, which was cool thanks to the raindrops beating against it, felt somehow refreshing. Even though it should have been motionless, right then it seemed to be the only thing that could understand Natsuhi. At that point, even if someone had appeared, Natsui didn't intend to pay any attention to them. But she did pay attention. Because it was her beloved daughter. Oh, fuck. I have to do a stupid voice for this dramatic scene. Uh, oh, it's you, Mom. What the heck are you doing in a place like this? Thought you were a ghost. Just like always, her words were rough and not all like a girl's. Instinctively, words of rebuke rose to Natsui's throat. However, their strength gave out and they didn't escape her lips. Jessica, forgive me, but my headache is awful. Please leave me be. I see. Jessica was seeing her mother in a position of feebleness for the first time, so she was considerably disconcerted. Until just now, she'd been filled with contempt for all of the parents, including her mother. But now, those feelings had been completely swept away. Her mother's utterly exhausted face had wiped them all out. In its place, the words George had told her floated back up in her mind. Our parents are doing their best in their own way. And because their families are counting on them, they can't afford to keep everything pleasant and have a heavy responsibility to fight. Maybe her mother had been standing around in this dimly lit hallway because no one had tried to understand that in her. Jessica hated her mother. but she had no intention of speaking kindly to Natsui just because she was looking a bit frail. So when she attempted to speak kindly to her mother anyway, she had to clench her fists and gather up the words from deep in her heart. It sounds like you've really got your hands full with that meeting thing. It has nothing to do with you. Please go somewhere else. Is the headache bad? Should I go get some medicine? You don't have to trouble yourself. Please, leave me alone. Natsuhi wasn't being cold. She just wanted her daughter to go far away so that she wouldn't have to bump against Natsuhi's own short temper. But there was no chance that Jessica would realize this. Okay. Jessica hung her head, looking sad. Seeing that expression, Natsui recognized the kindness that Jessica was trying to muster. She gave her head a small shake to drive away her own unkind feelings. Then I'll leave. I'll be with the other cousins so I don't get in the way of the adults. See you later. Wait there. She called Jessica, who was trying to leave and looked lonely, to a stop. What? Thank you for being so considerate. It isn't good of me to go to sleep and leave you alone. Don't talk like that. You'll bring bad luck. I've made you worried, but I'm okay now. I will go. If I let my daughter see me this feeble any longer, I'll only make her feel more uneasy. With that thought in mind, Natsuki left Jessica with the words of gratitude and made to part. This time, Jessica called out to her mother's back. Natsuki stopped and turned around, asking what business Jessica had with her. But Jessica herself didn't know why she'd stopped her mother. And for a while, she smiled wryly, muttering to herself as she hesitated over what to say. She was poking around in her pocket when her hand touched something and she took it out. Hey, Mom. I was given a charm today. What was it? A charm against magic? Um, I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to hang it from your doorknob, I think. I forget. There's no point in me having it. I'll let you take it. It was the scorpion charm that Maria had given her on the beach. Although she'd heard of its various effects from Maria, Jessica's mind had gone blank, and she was just barely able to say even that much. Jessica, thinking that her mother probably wouldn't accept it anyway, immediately drew back the hand she had stuck out, grasping the charm. So, when Natsui came back to take it, she was extremely shocked. What is this? Some kind of prize toy? Well, I think it's something like that. I guess you wouldn't really expect a charm that looks like a toy to do anything. But her mother took the charm from where she grasped it in her hand. Thank you. I'll take good care of it. Sometime soon in exchange, why don't I give you a charm that was important to me when I was a child? It's not like that's why I gave it to you. But, well, if you really say so, then I will rest for now. My headache is awful. Try not to stay up too late. Sure. Natsui put the charm in her pocket and turned away. She then disappeared into the dark hall. All right. Let's end that there.
Yeah.
That was the first example of a really serious discussion with a stupid voice.
I think it was pretty good, but the one soon after is going to be even better.
I've been trying to subdue Jessica's voice more so it's not as cartoonishly over the top. I have no fucking clue if I'm gonna be able to do that with George.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us on another episode of Umineko.
Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe and drop a comment
And hit
in the
that
comment
bell.
box. Yeah, hit that bell if you like hitting bells.
Yeah! Hit that bell like you're a sound effect in Umineko. Hit that bell like this.
So true.
Yeah. Subscribe. Do it. Okay, bye.